All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the House Divided podcast. We're repping our appropriate colors today to represent the.
Pink?
It's maroonish, no?
Oh, I guess. It wasn't on purpose, but. It's
To represent the show. We are officially in the last week of the NFL season, and we've gotten over the first week of the college football playoff. Couple big games. Two big games and a couple of pair of blowout games, which were expected, which are going to be the topic of the off season with the Group of Five role in the playoff and whatnot. But I think we should get kind of straight into it. We had an interesting game early on. In the first one, we had Bama overcome an early deficit to go even at the half, and then they took control in the second half and got the big win. What are your takeaways from this game? What's next for Alabama throughout the year?
It was a tough start. Obviously, being down 17-0 in a quarter and a half is not a good look. Not how you want to start off a game. But after that, I would say 20-ish minutes of game time, Alabama was just the better team in all aspects. Oklahoma kind of was playing it safe and just wanted to hang on to that lead. And Mateer didn't have a good game after that. And Ty Simpson kind of recovered after that tough start. And I mean, I think they answered 20 unanswered, which is impressive. DeBoer really made good adjustments to combat that early run. They took the crowd out of it once they went up 2017, and then they just took it home. And then going forward, I mean, this showed Alabama's ability to kind of overcome some adversity. I know we saw it during the season at times, obviously with their hard schedule. They're in the middle of the season. But after a tough end to the season, they kind of bounced back against a team that defeated them in the regular season. So good win. They have a tough opponent, Indiana, but I think it's going to be a good game. I mean, we'll speak about in depth in that game earlier, but good win. DeBoer kind of keeps his job a little safer.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, great game. Obviously, Oklahoma fan, you do not want to lose that being up 17 at home.
Yeah, of course, as you just mentioned, a couple of big losers from that game was obviously Oklahoma, but also the Michigan Wolverines, because, any chance that DeBoer was gone.
Yeah.
They get a good coach, though, in Whittingham, but let's go back to the topic at hand. Obviously what Alabama showed to me is what they've shown all year. They have the defense to be able to stop people. They have the defense to be able to stop any offense. Whenever. I mean, obviously what has been a struggling Oklahoma offense, but the defense can keep them in games. And as soon as they're able to get anything going with Ty Simpson in the offense, which they were able to do late in the second quarter and obviously throughout the second half, if they can just do that, be able to stay in, the offense can keep them in the game, the defense will obviously keep them in the game. If the offense can do the minimum, the defense will keep them in the game, and that's very good from them. And if they can do that, and they can keep up with anybody because I think they have the talent.
No, yeah, I agree, and I think their defense really improved from middle of the season, like you mentioned, where their offense was just clicking, and Ty Simpson, we both said on this podcast, was the best quarterback at the time. So if they can just get that offense kind of close to what it was and this defense keeps playing, they'll be a dangerous team for Indiana or maybe teams ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll move on to the cakewalks here. Ole Miss and Oregon, we clumped in together. They cakewalked the Group of Five. James Madison put up some good points against a good defense.
Garbage time fight at the end. It was good performance from JMU. Unfortunately for them, I think they've got 11 starters in the portal. Yeah. They've lost their coach, so very scary future for them.
Tulane lost their coach too. So
yeah, John Summerall going to Florida, great hire. Going to make the SEC very interesting next year.
Yeah, honestly, a little disappointing. As a fan, a neutral fan, just trying to watch a good game. Trinidad Chambliss, another big game like he's had all season. Not much to say there, but both teams had control from the get-go, and props to JMU putting up, I think, 26 points against a good Oregon defense, but besides that, not much else to say.
Yeah, again, I think the biggest takeaway from these games are going to be the off-season conversation we're going to have about the role of the Group of Five teams in the playoff.
What is your thoughts on that?
For me, my thought is no Group of Five auto bid. I think you either keep it at 12 teams or 14 teams. I don't love 16 teams. I like the idea of a bye week.
I like 12, yeah.
So I think 12 is ideal. If you really, really want to expand, ideally the number would be 14 for me. If you had to expand, I prefer 12. I would do
I think what I would do is four conference the highest ranked conference champs. Obviously, this year it would still be Tulane because ACC crap themselves, but most of the time it will be the Power Fours. But
yeah, and then I would do the Power Fours half. I wouldn't do. I would just do the Power Four get conference champion. But
just those four, not the top four highest ranked.
Well, I guess that's kind of the way you have to do it.
Yeah, because then this year it would have been Duke instead of Tulane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like most years that's not gonna happen.
I think you could find a caveat to where you can do. You have to be in the top 25 to qualify for.
Yeah, true.
For that, and then.
But it will definitely be a conversation they're gonna discuss. We'll see if they change it. I mean, they changed the seeding of the buys after 1 year, so it could change.
They could change it. Yeah. Plus, they always did kind of say it was going to be 2, and then 2027 was the first year you could kind of look towards expansion.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I want the most, just in a person, I just want reseeding every week. I think that's the one I like the most.
I think that's fair for the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the 5 seed has a lot of advantages that the 1 seed doesn't, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, especially last year as a Texas fan, where we ended up as the 5. You're kind of like, we kind of prefer the 5 seed over anything. We get a home game against the 12 seed, which is going to be the weakest team. Then we're going to face Arizona State, which was the weakest of the 4 by far, and we faced a weaker opponent than a lot of the other teams playing that week that were ahead of us did. So it was kind of an ideal situation that I don't think the 5 seed should have.
Yeah, but it was kind of minimized with the removal of the automatic buys from conference, but I still think Oregon's the 5 seed this year has a easier path than Indiana somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it just worked out because Tech was actually really good. But all right, now moving on to this last one. Breaking it down. I mean, there's not much to break down, honestly. 3 points is you can't.
3 points is 3 points.
But no, I think this might be the most embarrassing performance from.
And it was 3 missed kicks too by Miami.
At Miami, yeah. We missed one too, but I mean that didn't help us. But just, I mean, defensively, you can't ask for much more. Obviously, they should have had maybe 9 to 6 more points, but I mean, we did our job. They did their job. Except maybe the rushing defense in the second half. Fletcher was getting a little going, but besides that, defense was. I give the defense a B+. Maybe could have gone off the field quicker at times, but B+. Special teams, I give us like a C. Obviously, that missed field goal, and then KC, he muffed the punt, he recovered it, and then we blocked field goal as well. Miami blocked our field goal, so not the best execution. Offense, F, man, that was atrocious. O-line was getting cooked up. Like we said, why are we talking trash on Ruben Bain?
Exactly.
3 sacks and a blocked field goal. Marcel Reed, atrocious. I think I would have rather just gone 4 and out than going down the field at a 3 and throwing a pick into quadruple coverage like he did against Texas. His fall off needs to be studied because he forgot to set his feet in from what's the game before? From South Carolina game to before he was good, and then South Carolina game and on, I guess, Samford, but it's Samford. He did good, but he didn't look as confident in the pocket. His feet were off. It's just atrocious. KC, I mean, he it wasn't a good game for his standards, but, I mean, Marcel Reed couldn't get him the ball. He was inaccurate. Running game didn't get really established very well. I mean, this Miami defense is pretty good, but 3 points it's never going to cut it. So, just embarrassing, and you hate to see it, especially at home. I mean, next year's looking kind of daunting, so would love to pick up a win, and you never know, with momentum you can keep going, but just heartbreaker.
Yeah, I mean, we both picked A&M on the show last time. I had a lot of faith in them. You picked them to go all the way to the championship.
No, semis.
Semis, sorry. So we both had faith in the team. I liked what Marcel had been doing until the South Carolina first time, and then even until the Texas game, which he did fall short there. So I thought he was going to pick up with the extra rest to get the ankle ready, which is what he'd hurt. Unfortunately, it was just a terrible showing from him, the entire offense, as you just said. They shot themselves in the foot time after time after time. And eventually, just Marcel Reed handed Miami the hammer to put the last nail in the coffin. So, as you said, I guess you have to look forward to next year, but this kind of felt like your year.
Not to win. I don't think we would
Not
have won
to,
it,
but
but
like to win a playoff
get some
game,
noise.
like
Maybe
yeah.
have a New Year Bowl with like playoff implications. Like we would be playing tomorrow at 6:30 before New Year's. That would have been sick. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, next year our schedule's tougher. A lot of O-line turnover. KC's gone, but hey, Cam Coleman entered the portal. He used
He's
to be
going to the
committed.
other school in Texas.
He used to
though.
be committed to A&M. KC left. A lot of production left on the table, so you never know. But yeah, we'll see. But you hate to see it. All right, let's move on here.
Cam Coleman might be the tug of our offseason. The early reports, it's either Texas A&M or it's Texas.
Oh, and I heard LSU in there too.
Well, they're always going to be in for receiver. They're one of the wide receiver U's.
Yeah, but yeah, those are the top three, I think. We'll see. I just know he used to be committed to us in high school, but he might. I mean, if I was him, I would go to Texas, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we let DeAndre Moore go, so somebody better come take that spot.
Yeah. But, all right, let's go here to the NFL. We got the Texans. I think, what is that? They're 11-5. 8 wins in a row.
Mm-hmm.
With an impressive win against another playoff team against the Chargers. Yeah, what are your thoughts on both these teams this game? Just everything as a whole.
Both of these teams, let's start with the winner, the Texans. That defense, again, that's been the story of the year for Houston. They'll keep them in any game. They'll shut down any offense in the game. They are absolutely phenomenal. They have 2 fantastic edges in Hunter and Anderson. They're good in the back end with Stingley. They are just phenomenal. D'Amico Ryans is one of the best defensive coaches in the game. He brings the energy. He brings the schemes. He's fantastic. They're going to be able to compete with any team in the playoff if you can shut down any offense. And then offensively, they're getting going. I mean, 20 points sure isn't great, but that's a great Chargers defense with a great coach and mentor, head coaching candidate there. So if they can keep going, hopefully they get some favorable matchups if they play inside, which would be great for them. I think they can make a real run. They have a good quarterback who's played a lot better down the stretch. I like what I saw from Nico Collins the last couple of weeks, not necessarily this week. But if they can, find the balance, which they've had in some games recently, I think they can make a good run. And then Chargers, that looked like a disaster of the game. I mean, the defense held up as long as they could, held them to 20 points. They played a decent enough game. That offense, though, it was just running. It was number 10. That offensive line didn't look good. The receivers didn't look great. Cameron Dicker didn't look great. You can't miss an extra point and a kick under 40 yards to tie it in what could be a very important game to playoff outcomes. You lost the division because of that. So, but my biggest takeaway is how good Justin Herbert is. He looked phenomenal as well.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. I mean, I think this Texans defense is by far the best in the league. I think saw somewhere they're the best statistically defense since 2009, which is ridiculous. I mean, they're strong at every facet of the game, and they just seem to shut down everyone and force turnovers and create opportunities for their offense. And I think Stroud just has to manage the game well, find Nico Collins, get those big third down, put up around 20 points, 23 points, and his defense will take care of the rest. And I do think this team is very dangerous, especially because they're hot at the right moment. I mean, 8 games in a row, probably going to be 9 after this week, is not an easy thing to accomplish.
Yeah.
So it'll be scary out for a lot of teams, especially in the AFC, which has a bunch of young quarterbacks that haven't had a lot of playoff experience, so they can really make a run here for the conference.
Yeah, the kicker's going to get right. So the Chargers, he's missed like 2 kicks all year, and they were his last game. They're going to get, he's a Pro Bowler for a reason.
Yeah.
They're going to get going. He's going to be good. So.
I mean, before that, wasn't he like the most accurate kicker of all time?
Yeah, he's the most accurate. I don't remember over cinematic kicks.
Yeah, I know Tucker, and then I saw a game this year where he passed Tucker for like 91% or something. So just a tough game. Maybe he had a night out in Houston the night before, and he woke up different. But let's move on here to a game you probably weren't too happy about here. The Ravens keep their playoff hopes alive with big win versus the Packers on Saturday. We'll kind of combine this with it also keeps their playoff hopes alive that your Steelers lost to the Browns as well in effort trying to keep Myles Garrett from beating the sack record here.
Bad. Both of these games are bad. It was A disappointing Saturday night. I was thinking the Packers had this, backup versus backup. Malik Willis has played well, but so has Snoop. I just think Green Bay, they have some stakes to it. You're already qualified. I mean, the stakes were gone after the night before when Detroit lost, so the stakes were gone, which was a little disappointed. And then Baltimore did what they should have done all year, which was run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. They were phenomenal with it. Derrick Henry looked like prime Derrick Henry. And they were able to keep running the ball, unlike the New England game when they just stopped. And then for Pittsburgh, I don't know what that was. I just don't know what that was. Clearly, you just let him get a sack if that means running an offense. 6 points against Cleveland. Yeah, good defense, but one of the worst teams in the league. We should have been able to control that game. We should have been able to pound the rock the entire game. We should have been able to throw the ball. Yes, I know we didn't have DK or Calvin Austin, but we still had the 3 tight ends in. Roman Wilson has not been as bad. We have the new 2 veteran receivers we reportedly brought in to lighten things up with Aaron Rodgers. No. Why are we throwing it to Marquez Valdez-Scantling like 3 times in the end zone?
He's good, man. That's A-Rod's boy.
I know, but we had Kenny G open. He's been so good. He's kind of been like a receiver himself. So that was disappointing. And now we have one game, one showdown, and we'll keep you updated on that. That's coming up later.
Yeah. Yeah, don't have much to add, honestly. I think what you said perfectly. Derrick Henry, monster game. Good for fantasy owners here. Mm-hmm. And Huntley made the plays he needed to, kind of what he's done in Lamar's place a lot of the time when he's had to step in. And, yeah, I think big win, keep your playoff alive. And then I forgot, it was Huntley in the press conference said, Browns, please help us, Shadur. Yeah. And I guess Shadur didn't help him. That defense and the Steelers' game plan on offense helped them. But, I mean, Steelers' ball is in your court. You beat them in Baltimore. Now you get them at home.
You get them at home.
So you got A-Rod.
Maybe without their quarterback.
Yeah. I don't think Lamar's playing. So, yeah, I think this is the ball's in your court, man, and just take care of business. You got, I guess, the experienced quarterback on your side, and in my eyes, the better defense. So, and head coach is kind of even. You'll take it.
They're both 2 teams that want their coach fired. But they're both on the line of making the playoffs. It's like, man, there's stakes. Maybe one goes into a rebuild, and maybe one goes into the playoffs.
Yeah. No, maybe both are throwing so they can fire.
Yeah, so they can both do the rebuild.
Yeah. All right. Now the last NFL game we're going to talk about, an absolute thriller on Sunday. Yeah, it was a Sunday night one. 49ers beating the Bears in an offensive showcase, going back and forward, answering touchdowns. What did you think of this game? Or did you like what you saw from, I guess, both these offenses?
I love what I saw from both of these offenses. Very concerned about what I saw from both of these defenses. But since the topic of the game was offenses, we're going to focus on offense. It was a tale of 2 different stories of offenses. There was the Bears, who were the explosive, fun, Ben Johnson-style offense we've seen, and they were explosive. They hit you far plays, long-distance plays. Caleb Williams threw some, oh my God, throws.
I think that was his first 300-yard game of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Colston Loveland has really kind of cemented himself in what we thought he could be in this offense. He started slow, but man, has he been great recently. And then the interesting part was how different San Francisco. They were slow, they were methodical, they were moving the rock with McCaffrey, they were doing the great. They were passing it short through the tight end. Ricky Pearsall made some nice catches, but they were methodical while the Bears were high-flying attacking, which I thought was very interesting and very fun to see, and one of the best games of the year, which we've been treated to some great games this year. And I think both of these ways, I mean, obviously the San Francisco way is a little, I guess, more sustainable if you're moving methodically, but man, did the Bears make moving in high yard plays sustainable in that game. They were doing it time and time again.
Yeah, I think Bears side, I mean, putting up that many points and losing, it's kind of sucks. But I mean, you like what you see from this offense from a playoff proven team, and Caleb Williams He started the year a little shaky, but now he's kind of
He's looking good. Looking
cemented
real good.
himself as the franchise QB, sort of, and a guy they can build around. And I mean, Ben Johnson, what a turnaround. Chicago, I think if you ask Chicago fans coming into a year, you're going to win your division, they'll be like, no, you're crazy in that division.
It helps having the Pope on your side, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. And then 49ers side, I'll go into them a little here in just a little bit, but kind of reminds me of those Super Bowl teams offensively, at least, how they just look like no, they can't be stopped. They just, we got them third down, first down, and they just get these long drives. It's like you can't stop them whatsoever, and they just put up points no matter what. And this team's really impressive, and I mean, they're in a tough division, and they have a battle for it here on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's going to be a great game. We'll speak about that in a little bit, but I mean, Shanahan, offensive wizard himself too, like Ben Johnson, and it was all on display on Sunday.
Yeah, and the defense hopefully can get better. I mean,
Yeah.
they were talking, there's rumors of Fred Warner possibly being available for the NFC Championship if they make it that
there.
far. That'll be huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be able to hopefully hold teams to less than 38.
Yeah. All right. Let's go into kind of different this, not our top 10. Now we're going with the top 5 Super Bowl contenders. Now kind of the playoff picture. There could be some seeding movement, especially in the AFC, but most of the teams are set for the playoff. I think the ones that haven't been decided are not contenders for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's the Steelers or the Ravens.
And then Panthers.
Buccaneers, Panthers. Which is really looking like it's about to be the Panthers because they have a tiebreaker.
Well, if Atlanta wins, the Panthers have it no matter what.
Yeah.
Which is insane. All right. You want to go into your top 5? Start from 5, go to 1, just go all in a row.
Yeah. Number 5, I have the San Francisco 49ers. We kind of just touched on how good they look offensively. The reason they're at 5 is because I'm a little concerned about that defense.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 is the Patriots. They have what's most likely going to be the MVP after Stafford's poor game and May's good game. They've beat some good opponents. They beat the Bills. Obviously, the Bills beat them again, but close game there. Number 3, I have the Rams. They've hit a rough stretch recently, but they still played the Seahawks very close. That Falcons game sure was a concern, but Stafford is one of the few QBs in the playoffs that has won a Super Bowl. I am fully convinced that he can lead this offense to anything once Devontae Adams comes back. You know, people forget he's been out a couple of weeks now. And that defense, I think, can still be sensational when they want to. So they're set 3. Number 2 might be the hottest team in football right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're playing great defense. Very, very great defense. And most importantly, they're playing really good football. Trevor Lawrence is at the best stretch of his career. And Jacoby Myers has been a great addition. And Liam Cohen has really turned this team around. And number 1, the Seattle Seahawks. They beat the Rams a couple weeks ago. And after that, I said the Rams are still my Super Bowl favorite. But after the loss to the Falcons and the Seahawks getting the win over the Panthers, I think that moves up the Seahawks to number 1. They have a chance to cement that full number 1 favorite spot in a hopefully important win against the Niners. But I just think with the team they have now, they have maybe the best defense. They're playing just really good football defensively. They have the receivers. They have the running game. They have the coach. And we'll see about the quarterback. I think he has the potential to do it.
All right. I got 5. I put 2 here, kind of cheated, but I got the Jaguars that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason I have them lower than you is they are hot, but I don't know if I trust Trevor Lawrence. We saw, I mean, he did win that game.
He's won a playoff game.
Yeah, no, we saw that
3
game.
or 4 interceptions.
It was 4 interceptions, so I don't know if he can win another one of those. But he's been taking care of the ball more. Liam Cohen's got this offense rolling. This defense is still young. So, I mean, this team could make some noise, but I have him on number 5. I also have the Bills here. I think Josh Allen's the best QB in that conference, so I give him a shout. 3 road games is tough, and the way that defense has been playing and some of the losses they have are concerning, but I got to give him a shout out. Then 4, I got the Rams. Would have them higher, but some concerning losses throughout the year to the Panthers, to the Falcons this past week. But I still think they have the best quarterback, proven Super Bowl winner, best receivers, and that defense, that young defense, when it steps up, it steps up. So I think this team is built to beat anyone, and I think they can. So I'm at 4. 3, I have the Houston Texans. This might be a little shocker.
Okay.
I think this defense can take them far, man. And like I mentioned earlier, a lot of inexperienced quarterbacks in the AFC. I think they can defeat any of them with that defense, and it's going to be ugly. And Stroud's not going to have to do much. He also has a playoff win. I think the Texans could make some noise and make it out the AFC, especially winning 8 in a row, maybe 9 at that point. They're hot, and that defense is the best in the league. 2, I got the Seahawks. A lot for what you mentioned. Great defensively. Kind of definition of bend but don't break. Limit to a lot of field goals, especially not that Rams game, but
And but that was the Rams.
Yeah, that offense, JSN, best receiver this league. They gotta just kind of turn him one into one monster sometimes, but a 2 monster attack in the running back game with Walker and Charbonnet. And yeah, I really like what McDonald did, and Darnold. I mean, it shows something. It's not a fluke.
Yeah.
2 back-to-back 13-win seasons.
Not
The man's a winner. And then number 1, I got the San Francisco 49ers. And it's weird to say that. I don't think they're the best team. I just think they're hot. And I think we've seen
Brock
them.
Purdy's made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
already.
2 Super Bowls. Not Brock Purdy, but Shanahan and that kind of the core. Well, McCaffrey wasn't there, but Kittle and Warner, if he comes back, and some of those guys. So I think 49ers could be scary, and if they win here on Sunday, they would have 7 games in a row in their home stadium, including the Super Bowl. So I think this team could make a run here in the NFC, especially with, the Rams are the other experienced team, and then the Eagles, but the Eagles have not looked good whatsoever. So I think the 49ers are, the team right now, the way things are panned out, would say is my number 1 Super Bowl contender, which is weird to say because I never had him in my radar. But all right, let's move on to predictions, man. We got here round 2 of the college football playoffs. Miami versus Ohio State tomorrow night, New Year's Eve, 6:30 if I'm not mistaken. Can the Canes defense stifle Ohio State's explosive offense?
I think they'll stifle some of it for sure, but I don't think they're going to hold them anywhere near 3 points like they did to A&M. I think Julian Sain will be a better quarterback. He'll take better care of the ball. He'll find his – I really like A&M's receiver room, but Ohio State's the best in the country by far, so that doesn't compare. I think Ohio State will be able to put north of 20 points for sure. I think they have a great running game, a great O-line, great receivers, a great coach. And that's not to forget the fact that they might have the best defense in the country. They have potential number 1 pick, Avril Reese. They have Caleb Downs, the best safety in the country. Sonny Styles is one of my personal favorites. I think he's phenomenal. So they're just the Canes are going to struggle. I think this might be one of those games where we see Beck turn the ball over again a couple times against this defense. And I just don't think they're going to be able to. If they put up 10 points against A&M, I think they could put up 10 points again.
Miami, you mean?
Yeah, Miami. Yeah, if they put up 10 against, I think they could put up 10, but I don't think they're going to hold their opponent to 3. I think they're going to hold them to 24.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Ohio State in this game. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be kind of like that A&M game, maybe a little more high scoring, maybe like kind of Indiana, Ohio State, like 16-13.
That's a fair
I think it's just
assumption.
2 elite defenses with amazing players. These offenses are good. Obviously, Ohio State's is a little bit better, but I just think these defenses and this pass rush and the back end is just elite. And I'll be interested how they take care of Ruben Bain because we saw how destructive he can be. And we'll see if he gets double teamed, if that's going to open up more lanes for his other guys. But I do think Ohio State wins. I'm going to say 17-13. I think maybe Miami gets a touchdown and 2 field goals. I think Tony's got to get going. He was kind of quiet that A&M game. Had a lot of no yards after catch. I think if he can get explosive, he'll create some things. And then on the other side, I think Jeremiah Smith, except that Texas semifinal game, he was absolute monster in all the playoff games. So I think if you play him 1v1, he's going to eat. If you double team him, like Texas did, Carnell Tate's going to eat. So it'll be tricky. I think that Ohio State rush offense has also gotten going, especially against Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
We saw them inflict their pain, so I think they got to do that with Miami to neutralize Ruben Bain and those guys. But yeah, I think Ohio State wins an ugly defensive game, kind of like Miami did to A&M, or Indiana did to Ohio State. But
all right, we have another game. We kind of alluded to it earlier. We talked about it a little. We have Oregon getting possibly the most favorable matchup, facing number 4 Texas Tech. Can you give us our preview for that?
yeah, I got you, man. I think this one's tricky because I do think that Texas Tech defense is elite, but they haven't faced a quarterback and a guy like Dante Moore, and I think I don't trust this Tech offense to put up as many points as that Oregon offense can. I do think Tech's defense is better than Oregon's, but slightly. I think Oregon's defense is elite, even though JMU kind of kept up, but they didn't need to show up because their offense was just going up and down. But I do think Dante Moore is way better than that Tech offense, and I think 2.5 is kind of fair line. I think it's going to be around a touchdown game for Oregon, back and forth. And at the end of the day, I think Dante Moore with the ball in his hands is going to put the game away.
Yeah, as you said, in games like this, it comes down to the quarterback, and I think Oregon has a vast advantage there. I don't think the Tech advantage defensively is that high. I think Oregon, as you said, is a great defense. I think Oyunlele can make a big difference.
Yeah, monster.
So, and then Thiedman, I still don't know how to pronounce his name in the back, is very good. So.
And Dan Lanning, better coach.
And Dan Lanning is one of the best defensive minds in college football. Yeah. So, I'm going with Oregon here. Yeah. I think they're only here because they lost to 10 to the number 1 team in the country. So I think they're a great team.
Yeah, and I think something interesting. I mean, Dan Lanning said it. Kind of want to raise the question. Do you think these second round games should be played on campus? Maybe like if they move them up the calendar.
Yeah, I think you have to move up the calendar because there's no students right now. Yeah. So if you find a way to move the calendar around to where students can be on campus, I think that would be great. I think that would be a very good advantage to have, especially rewarding the
bye teams.
Exactly. So, but if we can't move the calendar, which I think is the most likely, I think keeping them in the bowls kind of keeps tradition alive, which is, I guess, kind of nice. Mm-hmm. So I'm not against. If they can move the calendar, that would be ideal. If they can't, I'm okay with them staying where they are.
No, completely agree. I was just curious.
Yeah.
All right. Next game, we got Bama, Indiana. Can Cignetti beat a blue blood like Alabama after a 2-year turnaround for Indiana in the Rose Bowl?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they already beat Ohio State. I think that's a better team than Alabama. I think that's a better defense than Alabama. I think that's a better offense than Alabama. So I mean, obviously you're no longer playing in your backyard. You're not playing in Indianapolis. You're playing. I think it's the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
You're playing in California. Alabama knows how to play the Rose Bowl. They've played it a million times before. They have the defense for sure. I think they can shut down Mendoza in that offense if they have a good day. But I think Indiana, it's going to be, as you said, I think we're looking at another Ohio State-Indiana kind of game and the Indiana-Alabama game. And I think just it's going to come down to who can make the difference. And I'm going to go with the offense that hasn't struggled all year or hasn't struggled the last couple weeks. And I'm going with Indiana and the Heisman.
Yeah, saw something today, very interesting, or maybe yesterday. Mendoza in the big game, the big matchups. So it was Ohio State, Oregon. Counting also Maryland, Penn State, and Iowa. So the best opponents they face has only 6 touchdowns in 5 games and 5 interceptions. So it's kind of concerning.
Yeah.
That kind of looks like he just stepped out against bad teams, but a lot of quarterbacks do that. These are tough defenses, not anything against them, but not what you love to see, especially against a great defense like Alabama. But I just think Indiana defensively is really good, and the Bama offensive struggles, and Cignetti just knows how to win.
That's to me what's the difference. The defense in Cignetti. I've said all year how much I like Ty Simpson, so I'm not giving that much of a gap to Heisman Mendoza.
No, I think if we see the time Simpson was dealing the ball against Missouri and Vanderbilt,
he would be the better quarterback.
They would win this game, but I just don't. I don't know if his back's healthy. I don't know if something's off. These receivers aren't looking as good as they did during those games as well. So I am going to pick Indiana. Just wanted to put that Mendoza thing out there. That's why I think this game's going to be close because without that, I would think this game's kind of 10 to 20 point game. But I do think Indiana's way better. As long as I don't think the bye should affect them too much with a disciplined head coach like that. So I'm gonna go Indiana. We both have them in our national championship, so I think they continue to roll here.
Yeah, I wholly agree with that. Especially as you said, a coach like that is what makes the bye week worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why teams like Tom Brady and the Patriots made the bye week so worth it, while some other teams, younger teams, get booted in the first round.
Exactly. All right, we got the last one here. Can Ole Miss get revenge for the game earlier in the year in Athens? It was a bunch of back and forth scoring here against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to gauge where Ole Miss is at. They've had one game since Lane Kiffin left them, and it was against Tulane, a team they'd already dominated. Of course, they dominated them again. They looked good, though. I mean, they have a great coach. They promoted their own defensive coordinator, which is a good hire. They kept their offensive coordinator for the playoff run, so they should have familiarity. But to me, the difference comes to this Georgia team's a lot better now than it was earlier in the year. Kirby Smart is as good as coach Ole Miss can have. Kirby Smart is still maybe the best coach in college football. That defense is playing better than they were earlier in the year, and that offense is definitely playing a lot better than they did earlier in the year. They've, as you've mentioned multiple times, they're playing in a much different way than they have the last couple of years, but that way is working. And to me, Georgia's maybe is the hottest team with the best momentum in college football right now, and I think they get the win.
Yeah. Man, I love this Trinidad guy. I love the way he plays. He just knows how to score points and win games. But unfortunately, with no Lane Kiffin, I do think it's going to be close, kind of maybe not as high scoring on the Ole Miss side of things, because I think Georgia's defense has improved since then. It'll be interesting how they deal with a running quarterback like him. But, I mean, Stockton has been rolling. Like you said, hottest team in the country. They dominated Alabama in all aspects. Texas, yeah. So I really like this offense. There's nothing they can't do. They have a two-headed monster. In the backfield, they got good receivers. Stockton is a monster himself, running the ball, throwing the ball. He's been way more accurate than he was last year. Obviously, a little concern last year coming off a bye and losing to a Notre Dame team. But Stockton has way more experience, and this team is better than last year's, and Kirby Smart will have the boys ready. And I think no Lane Kiffin and what's I gonna say? And Ole Miss kind of already losing, and they're an inferior team, so I'm just gonna pick Georgia. And that's my natty pick, so I think Georgia's gonna win. All right, moving on to the NFL, we got some big battles here for playoff spots or divisions, but we got Panthers versus Bucks. Who will take the NFC South here on Saturday?
Yeah, as I've said a couple times, it's about momentum. I think the momentum right now is with Carolina. I mean, I know they just lost, but I think Carolina's going to win the game. I think Tampa Bay's just looked very, very poor the last couple of weeks. I don't know if they necessarily feel like they have the fight in them right now. Baker doesn't feel like he has the fight in him like he had earlier in the year and like he had it last year. And if we're talking about just the division, obviously, I think Atlanta and New Orleans is going to play a huge role in that. So, but I do think Carolina can come out with the win. I think Bryce Young his turnaround this year has been the story for them. And they have a great coach in Canales, and the receiver, Ted McMillan, has been what's hopefully turning around. Yeah. So I'm going with Carolina. Yeah,
I'm also going to go with Carolina. I think, like you said, I think the Bucks have lost 7 of 8 or 6 of 7 or something. So momentum's not on their side. That offense has looked terrible. Even though they got all their pieces back, that defense has been Swiss cheese. The Panthers, Bryce Young has managed to game better. Rico and Chuba have had a good balance in the backfield, and then Tet has exploded, like you said. And I think the Falcons are going to beat the Saints. So even if the Bucks win here, the Panthers make it because some weird tiebreakers. Even if the Bucks beat the Panthers, so maybe if at half they look at the score, they might get a little deflated and come out flat. And I think the Panthers take care of business here in this one.
Yeah, I mean, fully agree. Let's move to the battle from the bottom of the NFC to the battle at the top of the NFC. The San Francisco 49ers are traveling to Seattle your top Super Bowl contender.
No,
versus
no.
my top.
Seattle's going new San Francisco.
Oh yeah, Seattle's going to San Francisco. Sorry, that's my bad. Yeah, I forgot they had like the next 5 games who are all at home.
Yeah. If they win this game, they're all at home because they get the 1 seed.
4. Seattle's traveling to San Francisco. It's my Super Bowl favorite against your Super Bowl favorite. We just said as your top contender. Sam Darnold's facing his former team, his former coach, his former guy who started above him for the number 1 seed in the NFC. What kind of are you looking forward to here?
The sole reason I picked the Niners as my number 1 contender is because I do think they win this game, and that means they'll get 4 straight home games, like I mentioned. I think they're rolling. I think they're hot, and I do think it's going to be high scoring, kind of similar to Niners-Bears. I just think the Niners are going to be. It would like the Seahawks are going to be more explosive with their runs and JSN and Darnold, and I think Purdy's just going to 1 first down, 11 yards, 1 first down, 11 yards, 7 yards, and I think they're just going to give their defense a rest, and I think Seattle's just going to be gassed from all the first downs and all the points Brock Purdy and that offense is putting up, and McCaffrey, the biggest Swiss Army guy in the league, he's a receiver at running back, and I do think they win. I do think maybe Darnold has a fumble or 1 interception where it's crucial. We've seen him do it against the Rams. 4, obviously completely different, but obviously I do think the Seattle defense is way better. I just think Shanahan's going to have his boys ready and find a way to exploit the Seattle defense.
Yeah, to me, as you said, I mean, the reason Seattle is my number 1 contender is because I'm picking them to win this game. To me, as you said, I think it could resemble that Bears-Niners game a lot. I think San Francisco, as you said, is going to be able to move methodically, and that defense, I think, is still going to play the same way. I think they're going to give up a similar amount to as they did, especially in what could be a high-scoring game. And I think Seattle is going to try to come out with the momentum that they had late game against the Rams, how they had in the game against Washington, stuff like that. And as you said, I think they're going to be the explosive offense, similar to what Chicago was. The difference to me that comes down to, I think that Seattle defense is going to be a lot better. I think McDaniel's a great mind. And, I mean, you have Lawrence, you have Byron Murphy, you have Evan Wari, who I really wanted in the draft last year. You have Witherspoon. So there's a lot of options there for Seattle. I just think that defense is what makes the difference. It's what keeps that from going, 42-38?
Yeah, 42.
I think that defense could be the difference to make it 35-38.
Yeah.
And I think that can get Seattle to win.
That's fair. All right, let's go into that one's on Saturday night too. So right, yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 great
because Sunday night's
games
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So 2 great games Saturday, maybe some backups on Sunday during the day, and then a great one here on Sunday night. The Ravens travel to Pittsburgh. Not sure if Lamar is going to play yet or not.
2 best players are in question.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts for this game? Obviously, big implications for your team here, man.
Huge implications for my team here. It means whether we go into the playoff or whether we're just outside of it. I don't think we go into a full rebuild if we lose. I think we try to keep this team together for one more last dance. With Rodgers and Tomlin, if we lose, I think Rodgers has had enough fun. He might stay for a year more. But I do think we win. I think this defense might be playing, hasn't been great, but it might be playing better football than the Ravens' defense is right now. And then I think it comes down to which kind of struggle on offense makes the difference. While I think Derrick Henry has played really good football the last game, and he was playing very good football against the Patriots, I don't know, I feel like the Steelers kind of know the Ravens. It's going to be AFC North football. They're going to be able to stop that a little better than these other teams. And I think it comes down to, do you want Snoop or do you want 4-time MVP Super Bowl champion? I think that's what the Steelers have. Even though he's not playing, he's still played good football recently. And because of Aaron Rodgers, I mean, that's kind of what you brought him in to do. And I'm going with the Steelers, going with my team here.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm going to go with the Steelers. Not just because they're at home. I think we kind of saw them exploit the Ravens, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago when they played. This Raven defense, even though they had a good outing last maybe week or two, I do think Rodgers can do enough to keep their defense in, especially if Lamar doesn't play. They'll be kind of one focused on Derrick Henry and make Huntley beat them, which I don't think he can. And I do think Steelers Steelers are the better team. They have a better defense in my eyes, and right now, as it stands, the better offense. And I do think
Now that
the
we're free to
Steelers,
scheme and not just
yeah,
protect
yeah.
ourselves from Myles Garrett's sack record.
And somehow the Steelers always find a way. Usually it's the 7th seed because the Ravens ran away with the division.
But
they
this time
always
it's
sneak into the
sneaking into the
playoffs.
4th seed.
Yeah, and this time they'll get a home game, so you never know.
You never know. Hopefully we get a dome team or a warm weather team that just isn't used to the wind.
5 seed, it would be the Texans.
They're not used to the wind.
Or maybe like if the Jaguars lose. I saw a graphic.
Well, they'd have to lose to the Titans.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, the Jaguars can be the 1 seed or the 7th seed, which is
ridiculous. Yeah, but the Chargers are sitting Herbert, so Denver should win.
Yeah. All right, let's move here to your best bets.
All right.
We forgot to say them last week, so we didn't. That's why we didn't say the record at the beginning, because we forgot to say them.
All right, first best bet. We still run into my team. People forget just because we got eliminated doesn't mean we're not playing. I've seen the boys. They've been at Disney World. They've been at Universal. I saw them at Hogsmeade. I think we're getting a big win over against a Michigan team that has been surrounded by drama. They lost their coach. They've been losing players. I know we've lost DeAndre Moore. We lost Wiseman. We lost Baxter. But I think we still have some of the core pieces. We can still make a big win. And I got Texas -7 at the Cheez-It Bowl. Now to the real games.
It's a real game, man.
It's a real game, of course. I mean,
it's a Cheez-It Bowl.
They won the national championship 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Michigan did. I mean, we were in the playoffs the last 2 years. It's two blue bloods. It's a big game. Plus, Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
As you said earlier, as I said earlier as well, I think Oregon -2.5 is pretty safe. You said earlier you're looking at a touchdown. I saw it the same way. So I got Oregon -2.5 beating Tech. And then your signature, but I took it an extra leg. The moneyline parlay, I'm taking all 3 favorites, IU, OSU, UGA. Parlay,
wow, confident.
Line. Yeah, I'm confident. I don't see upsets. Then for the NFL, I have the Bills -7. The Jets have just been a absolutely horrible, terrible team in December. As we saw earlier, I think they're at -107 point differential in the month of December. I don't think it's going to be very different in January. I think they're tanking. So I think the Bills, in an attempt to get over a higher seed, especially with the potential Chargers loss in a game where they're sitting Justin Herbert against the Broncos, I think they try to go for the 6 seed. Hopefully they pray, the Colts can beat the Texans. Maybe they get the 5 seed. I think the Bills come out. They show good. They try to get some momentum into the playoffs. I'm going to disagree. I know you said you think the Falcons win. I think they very much could win. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Saints have a really chance of winning. I think Shuck has the Rookie of the Year on the line. I think he comes on. He plays a great game. Him and Olave have looked absolutely phenomenal down the last stretch of the year. I think the Saints can come down, get a win possibly. If not, I don't think they lose by a field goal. So I'm going with the Saints +3. And my last best bet, it's been one of my favorite bets to do all year. I'm going to finish the year with it. So I'm taking the over in the Cowboys game. It hits every time.
It does. Money machine.
Exactly. So I'm going Cowboys and Giants over 51.5. It's a high bar, but it's the Cowboys, so I'm taking it. They just released Diggs, so it's going to hit, and it has to hit. Come on, it's week 18. We got to finish the year strong.
Yeah. All right. My number 1, I got Miami +9.5 points. Like I mentioned earlier, I think it's going to be really ugly, really low scoring. I think 9.5 is too much. I think Miami defense is really good. And I do think they keep it within 3 to 7 points. Then I got my signature parlay here. We got Georgia money line, and then this time I went Alabama alternate spread +11.5. I do think IU wins this, but just in case, I think maybe 7's a good line, so I bumped it up to 11.5. I do think Bama can keep up with them and kind of keep the game within a touchdown and a field goal. And then I got Panthers +2.5. I do think they beat the Bucs outright, but I'll take the 2.5 points just in case they go for 2 or something and don't get it or some weird stuff like that. I got Cowboys -4.5 against the Giants. Not sure if the Stars are going to play them. I think they are because, it's not like we're saving them for something or anything. So even if they don't play and the Giants, I don't know if the Giants are going to play their starters, but I just think this offense is too explosive and the Giants, obviously they won last week, but they still won a goodish draft pick. Then I got Steelers +3.5. I think We both said
Yeah.
they're going to win. I think even if they don't win, this is a great divisional matchup. At home, close game, a field goal, and I get the hook and a half point. I think two defensive teams, low scoring, 3.5 just seems like too much. And that's all I got.
That's right. That's it.
It's only
for the regular
5, dude.
season
It's
for
low.
us. Is this the first week I have more than you? I have
How many
6.
do I have? Yeah, I guess.
Wow. Groundbreaking stuff here.
I didn't like it. It's just because of the backups with the NFL. I don't
Yeah.
like it. But, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Last season, NFL, round 2 of the playoffs. Then we got NFL playoffs and we got semis. So, exciting stuff coming along. And then we got a surprise coming after the whole NFL season's coming. What you want to tell them?
What's up?
Yeah.
We're
World
doing
Cup,
both
man.
footballs.
Yeah, we're doing football, man. We're going to preview the World Cup, all that good stuff. Avid soccer fans, especially the World Cup comes around. It's going to be here in the U.S. and our home country, Mexico. So, hey, we're going to do maybe some soccer content leading up to it and then do some World Cup stuff. But thank you guys for watching. And, yeah, enjoy your weekend and New Year's. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.